Good evening, everyone. I am Aj Cunningham, Chairman of the Bahamas Natural Resources Foundation. I want to welcome all you emerging leaders to our program today. I hope everyone had a wonderful week because we have an exciting session coming up this evening. I know this is our penultimate session, the second to last. We have one more speaker next week, and your 12th week of being part of the Emerging Leaders Development Program, our initial program, will be something to talk about. We're excited that we have some work to talk about. After the next week's session, our graduation process will be the following Thursday, which I believe is the 26th of August, and you will have your certificates. And after that session, what we will do is the directors of the program and some of you as emerging leaders, we want to conduct and have a lessons learned. Get your perspective, what we can do better, what did we do well, and how the content. And I'll also ask one or two of the guest speakers to talk about their engagement and their process, and from their experiences as well, how we can continue to develop the program. So we're really excited about the sessions that we have this evening. We have a dynamic duo. So this is the first time we've had two guest speakers at the same time. I think Andrea just did something. Anyway, so yes, so what's happening is we're going to make sure, yes, we are recording. I think Andrea signed it with my passport. That's why I got a little tweak. Anyway, so we will go ahead. We'll go ahead and introduce our guest speakers, and we'll go ahead live onto Facebook, and we'll make this process happen. Just bear with me a moment as I activate Facebook. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, Facebook. I am Aj Cunningham, Chairman and CEO of the Bahamas Natural Resources Foundation. We want to welcome you to our 11th session of our Emerging Leaders Development Program. For those who are returning, you know that every Thursday night about this time, we have some wonderful guest speakers that really are speaking to our emerging leaders. But as an organization, given that the purpose of the foundation is the empowerment of the people, the Bahamian citizens, we deem it appropriate as well as we should not just hold this wealth of information to just our emerging leaders. So we're sharing it with you, our fellow Bahamians, via Facebook. As you know, the Bahamas Natural Resources Foundation is for the protection, the economic viability, and the ecological sustainability of natural resources of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, of which the citizens are the benefactors. And our most important natural resource are you, the Bahamian citizens. This is your organization, the foundation, so we implore you to join and see what we're doing to flourish. Now, as you know, that this ongoing program of the Emerging Leaders Development Program is something that's very important to us. And we have two fellow Bahamians who have successful in their outright arena, and they're seeking to come and really give back to the country, not just to this forum, but they're also working on other initiatives that they will continue to bring forth to our nation and to you, our citizens. But let me first introduce these gentlemen to you. The first one I would like to introduce you to is Dr. Feraldo Joffre, let me get the pronunciation correct. Dr. Joffre is an environmental health and safety professional that was born and raised in Freeport, Grand Bahama, where he attended public school and served in numerous leadership roles while obtaining multiple accolades. Dr. Joffre earned his Bachelor's of Science degree in biology pre-med from Bethune-Cookman University, formerly known as Bethune-Cookman College in Daytona Beach, Florida. A Master's of Science in Environmental Management from Environmental Science from Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida. While matriculating through his tertiary education, Dr. Joffre has participated in esteemed internships and was awarded a Life at Key scholarship. And during his career, Dr. Joffre has developed his expertise in both the government and private sectors and is currently employed at Jacobs Engineering Group as an environmental health and safety information management specialist. Dr. Joffre is passionate about bringing awareness to environmental affairs and has subsequently formed BEAM, which means Bahamas Environmental Awareness Movement, where the vision is to shine the light on environmental matters, activism, and resources by means of educating, influencing, and providing opportunities for the Bahamian community at large. So he's dedicated, as you can see from his bio, to make a big impact to the future generations of our country. Now, accompanying him tonight as well is Dr. Berkley King, Jr., who's devoted approximately 10 years of service as an educator and currently serves as a tenured full professor in the College of Agriculture, Community, and the Sciences at Kentucky State University. He previously served as the interim vice provost of academic affairs at Norfolk State University and currently serves as vice provost for faculty affairs, compliance, and policy at Kentucky State University in Frankfort, Kentucky. Dr. King has earned a doctorate of philosophy from the University of Southern Mississippi in environmental science and education. Dr. King is a well-published author, grant writer, and researcher. He obtained a Bachelor's of Science degree in Environmental Science from Miles College, located in Birmingham, Alabama, and a Master's of Science in Environmental Management from Samford University, located in Birmingham, Alabama as well. He is an active member in a variety of professional organizations, including National Science Teaching Association, Virginia Association of Science Teachers, Virginia Association for Environmental Education, Kappa Delta Phi Honor Society, Historically Black College and University Faculty Development Network, and also African American and Blacks in higher education. So without further ado, I'd like to invite you to welcome our guests this evening.
Thank you so much, Mr. Cunningham, and it is a pleasure to be here and for Dr. Joffre and I to really share candid discussions with you and your team about our journey to success and the various ways that we were able to arrive to the point in which we are at right now in our career. So it is a pleasure, and thank you for having us here tonight.
You can start the presentation for us, please.
Oh, surely. There we go. Can you see it?
Yes.
Great.
So, I mean, I guess, all of this was just explained for us. We were going to kind of give you a little understanding of our background. As it was mentioned, I was born and raised in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Actually, in the settlement of Deadman's Reef is where I grew up with my mom's sisters. I'm a product of public school. I'm very proud of that. I went to Hunsville Primary School and then 8 Mile Rock High School. While I was there, I was a part of a lot of different organizations. I had the opportunity to serve as head boy in my senior year. As a result of that, I went to Cookman in Daytona Beach, Florida, where I obtained my bachelor's. Then I got a master's. Actually, Dr. King and I, we both got our master's degree from Stanford University in Birmingham, Alabama. We realized that we didn't know each other while we both from Newport. We didn't know each other while we lived here, but it wasn't until after we both graduated from our bachelor's, where we obtained our bachelor's, when we moved back to Freeport, that we found out we were in the same fraternities and we were in the same field. I'll give props to Dr. King because he really inspired me to actually pursue my master's degree and my PhD. We realized that we were both working for the government. He was at BEST and I was at the Department of Environmental Health Services. And he was like, hey man, I'm about to start this master's degree at Stanford. You should come, we could be roommates, we could get the same degree. And so that started my degree or search for higher education on a graduate level. And after I did that, I moved. So I was working for the Department of Environmental Health Services as a health inspector. I did that for about 2.5 years. And then I went to Stanford, got my master's degree. And then I came back home to the Bahamas, where I started working in health and safety. I was working in the private sector now. That's why I really got my professional experience in occupational health and safety. So after that, he was pursuing his degree and PhD. So he was like, hey man, go get your PhD too. I know some schools who have some, programs that, you might be able to get into. And I was like, I don't know, but I was like, you know what? I kind of want to get off this island. So I decided to pursue my degree at Florida A&M University, where I graduated with my doctoral degree in environmental science in 2019. That's why I attended school, Florida A&M in Tallahassee, Florida. And now I am currently employed for an engineering company where I am the environmental health and safety information management specialist. I do some consulting work with a lot of different people. It's kind of a new field for me in terms of some of the things I'm doing, but I welcome it. It's a challenge, and I can see it really being an impact or helping me diversify my resume for future endeavors. So that's where I'm at. There's a little brief history of me. I'll let Dr. King give a little something about him.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Joffre. And once again, good evening to everyone. So I'll just give you a little elevator talk about my early years, tertiary education, and early career path. So like Dr. Joffre, I am originally from Freeport, Grand Bahama, and I attended Walter Parker Primary School. And from Walter Parker, I moved on to Hawksville High School. I spent about a year there at Hawksville High, and then they shut the school down, and all of us were split. So good friends I had at Hawksville High had to go to one newly built school, and I went to the other. And from there, I went to St. George's, and from St. George's, I moved on and graduated from Jack Hayward High School, class of 2000. And one thing I can say is that my interaction with various service clubs while in high school served a beneficial factor in helping me develop into who I am today. Clubs such as the Interact Club, I also served in GGYA, and some of you guys might be very familiar with these clubs because they are prominent clubs that are in most high schools across the Bahamas. And so I've engaged in those social activities and social clubs. And I also served as a deputy head boy, and serving in those leadership capacities, even being a president over the Interact Club and socializing and networking with various people who were classified as our mentors. The actual Rotary Club of Freeport, Grand Bahama, it really played a significant role in shaping the individual that I am today. And it started as young as high school, and even younger than that, it started in primary school. While I was at Walter Parker, I also served as head boy. So leadership was instilled in me from an early age, and being pushed to the forefront is the key thing that helps you to develop into the leader that you would wish to be today, especially a Black male leader. So being a young individual and always instilled to be pushed to the front and never to be nervous when it comes to a crowd, and never to be nervous when it comes to leading the pack is the key thing that helps you to become a strong leader, and being able to think on your feet and being able to make the right and best decision. Because individuals will eventually look up to you, and individuals will most definitely depend on you to really be the individual that you are blessed to be. Other than that, I moved on from high school and I attended Miles College. I majored in environmental science. I didn't know what I really wanted to major in, but at the end of the day, I always knew it was going to be a STEM area or STEM field. And as a result, I chose environmental science. Why? Because not much people was interested in that. And during that time, originality was key. And that's what I did. From there, I returned home. I worked for the Office of the Prime Minister. I worked with a special group of individuals called environmental consultants for the Best Commission. And I worked there for approximately 3 years. From there, I moved on to pursue graduate studies from Stanford University in environmental management. And during this time in particular, I was motivated to get Dr. Joffre involved. I said, hey, I know that we are fraternity brothers, and I know that we hang out a lot and socialize. But I thought that that was the perfect time because Dr. Joffre was very heavily involved in the environmental movement back home in Freeport. So I just said to myself, look, it's a good thing that I am able to get to know a frat like this, and he has similar pursuits as me. So I was like, okay, hey, this is an opportunity. Maybe you can advance yourself as well. And so, Dr. Joffre and I know, a certain lingo that goes, he ain't heavy, he's just my brother. So I just made certain that I kind of reached out to him and said, look, you need to come on board and we need to elevate ourselves. We need to advance our degrees. We need to make certain that we are as competitive as we can be professionally. And from there, that's what we did. And so forth with the doctoral programs. When I started it, he was also looking to. And so we just network and work together and help each other out. And as young Black males, especially during times that are very troubling for young Black males, one thing that I always remember is if I have the opportunity to help another brother, I sure will. And Feraldo, Dr. Joffre also have those same ideals. And as a result, we are here to help each other. And we both would wish to help our Bahamian fellows to move forward and to become future leaders. And I think leadership is in everyone. It's just based upon moving the fair and pushing forward.
Okay, gentlemen, just bear with me one moment. I have a little technical challenge here. It never fails. I just want to make sure we get this process. Bear with me. I will share the screen. There we go. Problem solved. Great. Okay, great, thank you.
You can move along.
Okay.
Nice. All right, so first and foremost, I definitely want to say that Dr. King and I were definitely not no experts in this particular area of discussion. What we will present to you today is solely based on our experience, some of the things, the steps that we took for us to be and obtain the success that we have thus far. So we feel that these are some necessary steps that you can also utilize to help you out as well. So just a little overview. The Webster Dictionary defined career as a field or pursuit of consecutive progression, achievement, especially in public, professional, or business. Now we definitely like this to be as, a dialogue as much as possible. So we might be asking you questions and we would definitely love some participation. Now looking at this definition, what words in this definition stands out to you?
Sorry
for me, sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, for me, it's the word consecutive.
Okay, definitely. Anything, anybody else?
Personally, for me, it's the word progressive.
Bang, that's it. Both of you have it. It's consecutive and progressive for me as well. When you think of a career, it's something that's an ongoing thing. You know, you don't want to stay in the same role or the same area. You definitely want to progress and develop and advance along in your career or in your field. So that's definitely two words that stuck out to me, and I'm glad you guys saw that opportunity. So this 27% right here is saying that there's a study from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. I found that only about 27% of college graduates work in a field that's related to their major. So if we have about 10 of you guys on now, that means that only 3 of you, approximately 3 of you, will actually work in the field in which you actually got your degree in. And I don't know about you, but school isn't cheap. You know, you spend a lot of time, money, effort, things of that nature. So what we hope to do today is to increase that 27% by helping you to create a strong foundation for you to be ready for your career and to find suitable careers that's related to the fields that you're interested in. So these are 3 key areas that we feel like we want to discuss with you today. That's self-evaluation, career search identification, and mentorship. I think you have anything to add to it?
Yes, and as we move forward to the presentation, is one good thing that we would also want you guys to always keep in mind is having the ability to network as you progress and move forward within your leadership roles, and as you move forward throughout your career. Networking is key. So as we go through these various indicators, just keep that in mind and try to be able to transfer the knowledge on the importance of networking within these 3 specific areas.
Okay, so our first key area that we want to discuss with you is self-evaluation. And it's just simply that you want to take some time, you sit down, you get a notepad and a pen or however you want. You know, we're in a digital world now, so if it's in your phone or notes or whatever the case may be, you sit down and you ask yourself some pertinent questions. Passion. What are some of the things that you're passionate about? What are some of the things that gets you excited or inspires you? Things that, you know, you get a sense of fulfillment once you complete or you participate in these activities. Once you come up with those, that might be an area that you may want to work in. What are some of the things that you value? You value family? You know, and if this is the case, then you definitely want to choose a career that gives you some sort of flexibility with your time, so you're able to spend a considerable amount of time with your family. And this may be due to the complexity or the demand requirement or the location. You definitely don't want to have a career that is going to move you far away if you're someone who needs to be with your family or that you value time with your family. Or you might be someone who values comfort and a peace of mind. So therefore you want to choose a career that is relatively easy or has relatively easy tasks for you. Or you might be someone that thrives in an adventurous or a challenging work environment. So all of these things, we feel when you take that self-evaluation and you find out the things that you're passionate about, that can help you. Talent is another area. So, you know, some people have a gift in certain areas that require very little of them to succeed. It's something that's natural to them. So if this is something and you realize it's natural to you, why break the wheel? Why try to fix something that's already fixed? You know, so keep in that path. Or it might be you have acquired knowledge or a skill set due to an extended amount of experience or training. You might have a family member or a close family friend who works in a particular field and they have given you some knowledge because you shadowed them, or like we spoke about, if you have a mentor, which we will definitely speak more to in the upcoming slides. Or what are some of the things that you like or dislike? What are your hobbies? What are some of the things you like to do? You know, there's a saying that if you like what you do, it isn't work. You know, at the end of the day, I don't mind waking up, regardless of how early it is or staying to work, how late it is, if it's something that I enjoy doing. Versus if it's something that you don't like to do, you will more than likely hate waking up, or you would try not to spend long hours working in that field. Or, you know, non-negotiables. Non-negotiables are your no-nos. You know, things are like physical or manual labor, people who work at the office or desk work, working in a laboratory, customer service, sales jobs with commissions. Now, some of those things are non-negotiables for me. And I realized that as a result of trying those things out, as a result of having mentors or speaking to people who work in these fields. Okay, so once you find out what your non-negotiables are, but you know, well, this is an area that I don't need to pursue. Okay, also resources. Depending on the type of career or field that you want to be in, it requires a certain amount of financial ability. So you want to conduct research to determine the amount of money that is needed in order for you to get either specialized training, certifications, or you may even need degrees for potential career fields. So you definitely want to make sure you conduct the research to see what financial resources you may need. Also, by association, like I spoke earlier, do you know anyone who's in your desired career field that may be able to direct you or give you pertinent information or access? That's something that's important to you want to see. If you have a family friend or even someone in your family who might work in the field that can give you direct access. Like Dr. King was an access person for me. You know, he had already started certain things and he knew that I was interested as well. So he reached out to me. He was my direct access to some of these things that I was able to obtain as well. And then vision. You know, it's been said that vision without action is a dream, but action without vision is a nightmare. So, you know, vision needs action in order for things to become a reality, and action needs vision to create alignment. So, you know, you want to ask yourself, where do I see myself in 10 years? You know, and of course, based on that, you want to know, okay, well, I should put a plan in place so that I can start obtaining some of these things that I have. Short-term, long-term goals. Does any, I'd like for one of you guys to share with me a short-term and a long-term goal of yours. I'll give you an example. For instance, a short-term goal of mine or an example of a short-term, long-term goal would be trying to obtain a certain certification. So that means I can study for about 2 to 3 months, take the test, and obtain that certification in a matter of about 3 to 5 months. But I plan to use that certification so that I can advance and move in my career for years and years. Okay? So do you feel like you guys have any short-term or long-term goals, or either or?
I have a short-term goal to produce more short-form content in terms of marketing. And a long-term goal of mine would be to produce entertainment, but for wider, more global audiences.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Anybody else care to share?
Yes, a short-term goal of mine is, well, I just created a radio project. I pitched it to a station, got it approved, and so now I'm seeking the sponsors. And then a long-term goal is that this particular radio project is about prosperity. And I hope that as the project rolls out, the experience that I gain, I can create a book and become an author on prosperity.
Awesome.
Very good, very good. Dr. King, you have anything to add to the slide?
Yeah, so it's wonderful to hear you guys identify short-term goals and even long-term goals. But it's good to have the long-term goals and then kind of subcategorize your long-term goals by identifying the steps or activating the plan on how you will get there. So it's good to see that you guys are going through the process called self-evaluation, because that is key. And self-evaluation is not just passion, talent, likes, dislikes, resources, and vision. But when you look at all of these indicators, you want to also take into consideration that one or two of you guys might not really fit under one of these indicators. So how do you adjust to it? Well, what you do is you think outside of the box and you try to find what your passion is. Try to determine what field are you most talented in. Okay, so being able to kind of be original with your thoughts, come up with a career that you know it is original. No one is really thinking of it. Is actually gearing towards the leadership skills that individuals will wish to see you possess in long term. So I think that not just fitting in to fit in is key, but to be original and think outside of the box. So that's one key thing to also consider when it comes to self-evaluating. And also noting, like Dr. Joffre said, we utilize that networking skill and we worked along with each other to try to help each other. And that is also a key indicator as well.
Next slide, please. Okay, so after you would have done some self-evaluation and you would have determined, okay, these are some of the fields or, the field I'm interested in, or, something I can possibly do. Then you have to decide job versus career. Do you want a job or do you want a career? Can anyone tell me what they think is different between having a job versus having a career?
I think a job is more resume builder, and I think a placeholder, and a career is something you're seeking to drop down roots in and see more long term.
Good. I like that. You know, what is very interesting mentioned is that that's how I thought about employment when I graduated with my bachelor's degree and I returned home. The main thing that was on my mind is, hey, I need to be employed. I need to find a job.
Oh, let's keep it real.
I need to make some money. Okay, so that was the thing on my mind. And I was very anxious to kind of get into the world and see what is the field of environment all about. All of this book knowledge, all of the organic chemistries, all of those advanced biology courses. Okay, I said, okay, so what am I going to do with all this? Okay, and after 3 years of understanding employment and understanding the job and understanding the field for the environment, I said, okay, I know exactly what I need to do to help to transition the way that I think cognitively about a job and transition it into what my career will be. What are my goals and my plans in the next 10 years? And so as you mature, it is nothing but normal to want to advance your career. So transitioning from job into career, it comes with maturity, it comes with time, and it comes with a vision and a well-developed plan.
Yeah, like Dr. King said, that's definitely true. So definitely with job versus career, what is your motivation for working? We all have different motivations. A lot of us work, of course we need money, we have bills, we need to do certain things. But your motivation for working directly impacts your desire to work. It will dictate your tolerance level and the type of employment you accept. Now, there are millions of people worldwide who really don't enjoy what they do. I mean, and that's just a simple fact. I've experienced that, when I was a lab tech. That's how I knew, or I know what I wanted to do, based on having certain jobs and ruling out, hey, this ain't it. Oh yeah, that ain't it. Okay. After a week on the job, it's like, okay, I started looking for other jobs, different things like that. But like I say, if you like what you're doing and you're motivated, you're definitely going to be more inclined to stay on that job and to want to move further and advance and move up the ladder at that particular job. And you ask yourself, can I see myself working in this field for an extended period? A career is someone working in the same field for the duration of their professional life. Now, this person may decide to change employers, but you still work in that field. You receive advancement or promoted to different roles within different organizations, but you remain in that same field. Now, something that kind of to help you choose a career as well is training, certification, or license. As I briefly mentioned earlier, conduct some research to see if your career of interest requires any type of specialized training, professional certification, or any type of license that you may need in order to obtain employment. Now, some of these, you actually need these before you even get the job. So you definitely want to find out if this is something that is required. You know, sometimes all these types of things may need you or assist you or give you the boost to receive a promotion, you know, once you get a higher degree or once you have attained licensing or different certification. These things also help you to move up the ladder as well. So even though you are expected to have experience in your area of work, you will always receive on-the-job training as well. Now, with the amount of degrees and amount of years of work of experience I have, every time I move into a different job or a different role, I have to shadow somebody and receive that on-the-job training. So that's something that I think we've all realized, regardless of what type of job, you know, the lower up to the higher. Of course, the higher you get, you are expected to know certain things, but you still receive some sort of on-the-job training. Dr. King, you want to elaborate on or add anything to that?
Sure, Dr. Joffre. So based upon my experience and transitioning from a job to career, right now with over 10 years of teaching in higher education, I was able to find my career. And I was able to find my career, but still utilizing my background in the pure science to conduct scientific as well as educational research. And this is something that I enjoy doing. So as a result, once again, you must have that desire, you must have that passion, you must be diligent and work extremely hard and see the long-term benefits in what you're doing. And once you're there and you're feeling comfortable and you're in your zone, more than likely you will progress through the ranks. And so as a result, with me moving from a K through 12 teacher, working from 8 Mile Rock High, to working as an instructor at Miles College, to working as an assistant professor at Norfolk State, getting tenure as an associate professor, as well as now a full professor at Kentucky State University. These steps, moving up the ranks, are really the key things that really push you towards a career, to want to stay within that career, to see the benefits, to see the perks, to see the advantages, okay? And so it worked for me, so I know most definitely it can work for you.
Yes. So also when you're searching, you want to find out the things that you desire. What sector of the career field do you want to work? You know, listening to some of your conversation earlier, some of you are entrepreneurs. You know, when people think of a career, sometimes they don't think being an entrepreneur is a career, but that definitely is a career. So if you decide, or if you desire to be an entrepreneur, that's a whole different story, a whole different time, because you really need to be focused and give so much of your time and energy to be an entrepreneur. Or you might decide, hey, I want to work for the government, or I want to work for the private sector. You know, if you move to the US, you know, corporate, or like Dr. King, working in academia. Now, I know he's tried to get me to work in academia, but that is nothing I want to do. I do not want to work. That is not a desire of mine. You know, even though I like to educate and bring awareness is what I'm trying to do here today, but I don't see myself doing that as a teacher or as a professor or educator in that realm. I don't mind talking to people every now and then like this, but as an everyday thing or whatever, that's not for me. So that's not my desire. So you have to have a desire and see where you fit. So in making your career, identifying a career. And then also you want to find out what's the benefits. Will this career feel ensure a good work-life balance for you? Will it provide a stable or secure lifestyle? You know, you might be used to a particular lifestyle. Would your career field, would it give you the funds or the financial ability to carry on the lifestyle or to get a lifestyle that you desire? Okay, is it a field that shows great promise for continuous work? We're at the stage now where we're going digital. Everyone's now going in the environmental field. So I know for sure if you work in the digital or environmental arena, you have continuous work. So you have to see and make that decision as well. Is my field something, like for instance, we already know doctors, people who work in a hospital, different things, like things where there's always going to be continuous work. So you want to make sure, ask yourself, is the career field that you're interested in, is that something that's doing that? Is this something that's profitable as an entrepreneur? Is my entrepreneurial path taking me along something that's going to bring me profit? Okay, following career path paves the way for economic security throughout your lifespan. Then also development. Are there opportunities for growth and advancement within this field? Does your career of interest provide the opportunity for you to hone your current skills and for you to learn more skills? Some careers have a clearly defined pathway for development and professional growth. A good career will enhance your personal and professional relationship and cultivate a need for your progression. Dr. King spoke about his pathway as he started out as in teaching high school, and then he moved to the undergrad college. Then he moved as an associate professor, full-time professor. Like, you can see his direct steps, his pathway. So you want to definitely make sure that you are aware of that, especially if you want to advance. But the longer you work, the more I think you would be willing and you have a desire to advance. Physical requirements is something that I don't think a lot of people realize as well. Like a past job of mine, it required me to do what is known as a pulmonary function test. Because I was an employee, I had to use a respirator. So in order for me to use that respirator, I had to have a certain amount of breathing capacity. So they had to test my lungs. I had to breathe through this tube, and they had to get a reading. And if I didn't pass that test, that would be a job I would have not been able to receive. So that's a physical requirement that was needed of me. And they had to do a lot of different medical history of me. So you want to make sure that you find out if there's any physical requirements with the type of job that you might be interested in as well. All right, so that's something that I think a lot of people don't think about, but that is something that's definitely required. If you want to be a fireman, you have to be physically fit, different things like that. So you definitely want to make sure you keep that in mind as well. Next slide. Dr. King?
All right, so mentorship is key when it comes to emerging and transitioning into leadership and leadership roles. Why mentoring is important? Well, it is important because you want to be able to establish direct networks with individuals who are seasoned. Seasoned individual meaning those individuals who are well experienced in the field of your interests, or as well experienced in a field that you can foresee yourself in the near future. So be able to shadow someone, okay? And most of us within this session, either currently seeking a degree or have acquired your degree in the field of the sciences. So it can be environmental science, it could be agriculture, it can be aquaculture, it can be biological sciences. So be able to establish a relationship and network with someone who you know is prominent within your field, okay? And seek good advice from them. Be able to ask them questions. And seeking that mentorship or establishing that mentor is finding someone that have a true interest in what you want to do with your life, and ensure that they have an interest in providing guidance and advice on how you should move forward. Okay, so they are key things to really help you identify who is a good mentor and be able to distinguish a good mentor from a bad mentor. That is very important. Understand that mentors are individuals. Good mentors are individuals who will stay close to you throughout the rest of your life. Okay, and some mentors will just help you along the way to get from one step to the other. Okay, it depends on the type of mentor. All right, make certain that you have the internship opportunities. Okay, and internship opportunities are, that field placement opportunities, meaning that you're going out and you're performing either your clinicals, or you're going out and you're seeking to really embark on a career that is unknown, but it's in your field, and you want to really figure out, how am I gonna really produce in my field? Well, the internship is the first step. During your junior, senior year, you want to get at least one semester to one full academic year of internship. Or if you haven't had the opportunity to seek that internship in college, make certain that you take a good year off from studies and really apply yourself professionally with an internship opportunity. It helps to give you that true understanding of if you really want to go in this particular direction, or if you would wish to just continue your education and advance your academic degree while you continue to search and seek what you really want to do. Spiritual guidance is another form of seeking mentorship. Maybe it's something spiritually that you're going through, or you're trying to find yourself and you're trying to complete that self-evaluation of yourself. Well, you have individuals who are there to help you spiritually, to keep you grounded and keep you centered and focused on who you are as an individual, because that plays a significant role on how you portray yourself in the workplace and how you perform mentally, academically. So it helps you along the journey to leadership. And finally, there are a few quick facts when it comes to mentorship. Dr. Joffre, you want to take it from there?
Yeah, so before I get there, I want to add to this as well. With shadowing, I remember my mom, when I was younger, I have a degree in bachelor's in pre-med, because I wanted to be a pediatrician. And she allowed me to shadow a doctor friend of hers. And I wanted to be a pediatrician because I love kids. And, I was shadowing the doctor, and the doctor asked me one question that changed my life. He said, "Why do you want to become a pediatrician?" I said, "I love kids." He's like, "Okay, do you like to see kids crying, dying, sick?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't want." He was like, "So what do you think you're going to be dealing with as a pediatrician?" So I wanted to be a doctor because I want to take care of kids. And, I'm used to smiling kids and happy kids, but that wasn't who I was going to be dealing with. So I had to change. As you can see, I'm not a doctor, a medical doctor now, but so is this type of experience that can give you that foresight, or that the information that you need for you to make an informed decision on the type of path that you want to take. And then also with the internship, when I got my bachelor's degree, I didn't do an internship. When I got my master's degree, I didn't do an internship. And I realized how important it was, but I didn't take advantage. But once I was pursuing my PhD, I did 2 internships. Another thing that an internship can do for you too is, after you're done with your degree, you already have an inside foot in that particular place of employment that you did an internship, which means that after you're done, they're more than likely willing to hire you, because guess what? They've trained you. You already have that training for that particular organization or whatever the case may be. So 9 times out of 10, well, a good time, I wouldn't say 9 times, but there's a good possibility that once you're done with your degree, that particular organization which you've had that internship with will hire you, especially if you've done a good job while you were there. And with spiritual guidance, I will be remiss if I don't acknowledge God in my life. Okay. Romans 8:28 says that, and we know that all things work together for the good to them that love God, and to them who are called according to his purpose. Now, I know a lot of things that happen in my life, it is the hand of God. Okay, so I would encourage you guys to build a relationship with God, seek him for advice and spiritual guidance, pray and ask him to speak to you and to show you the things that you want to, the areas that you want to go in. There have been many times I've had, even as of recently, I've had multiple job offers. And before making the decision, I went to God. Okay, God, I need your advice. I need your direction. Show me this, show me that. So I definitely want to let you know I had to make that a part of this. But anyway, so some of the quick facts about this statistics right here. You see that 5%. Mentees are, that should be 5 times, 5x. Mentees are 5 times more likely to be promoted. If you have experienced mentorship, once you get into an employment or a career, you are 5 times more likely to receive or you to be promoted. 84%. So for those of you who want to open up your own businesses, it says that 84% of CEOs said that mentors help them to avoid costly mistakes. So 84% of CEOs who received some sort of mentorship growing up or coming up. And even the thing about it is some CEOs who are CEOs now, they still have mentors, people who are who have gone before them or have had the same type of business. They say that it definitely mentors help them to avoid costly mistakes. And then 89% of mentees, they say, go on to mentor someone themselves and contribute to a culture of learning. Dr. King and I were mentors. We're definitely trying to give back and do the same, mentor others, because we know the impact that it had on us. So now I know for me, I definitely want to give back, and Dr. King feels the same way. 71% of Fortune 500 organizations, they now have a formal mentoring program because they understand the importance and the benefits of having a mentorship program for their current employees. So mentorship is very, very important. Next slide.
Okay. And so along with mentorship, this is something that Dr. Joffre and I really have kind of identify and have kind of coined the Fabulous Five. And the Fabulous Five are characteristics given to the types of mentors that really contribute to our career and really help us along the leadership path. And as a result, these characteristics can be transferable as you guys move on through the path of leadership. And you guys will also see these type of individuals who will be categorized as mentors in your life. And for us in particular, for me, one of the Fabulous Five mentor is a mentor that give information about career choices. Okay, as you search for whether or not you want to study more about a specific area within your field, you have various faculty members, you have various experts in the field that can kind of help you along the way and tell you, okay, well, this field is more lucrative, or this area, you know, is the area that have less individuals looking into it, and you can fit perfectly in it. So having those type of mentors that really give you that advice about career choice is key to helping to see you succeed and move forward throughout your career. Secondly, among the Fabulous Five mentors are the mentors that give guidance about finances. As you progress through your career and as you advance in rank, and of course, advancement in rank normally is closely associated with advancement in pay. So you have to understand your finances. You have to be financially literate, okay? And that comes with time, and it comes with having someone next to you that you can trust, and someone that share with you the truth about finances, how to spend, how to save. It's something that I use specifically that help guide me forward in life when it comes to financial literacy. And it's a quote by one of my mentors, financial mentors. And he also he say, Dr. King, you have to learn how to spend less, save more, and invest. He said, once you keep these three elements in mind, more than likely you will be on your journey to financial success, and it will help you to advance your career when it comes to having financial security. Thirdly, like Dr. Joffre and I mentioned earlier, help with spiritual journeys, help to keep you grounded, keep you focused, keep you centered, keep your personality in tune. The fourth mentor will be the mentor that's just candid. That mentor would tell me just how it is, okay? And I know for a fact that my mentor was probably was probably here on the live feed. You know, of course, my mentor will tell me the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, whether I presented well, whether I stumbled a few times. Okay, but you need that mentor who will tell you where your weaknesses are, how to strengthen your weaknesses, where there are opportunities, where there are threats, okay, and how to sustain your strengths. So these are the things that you would want to kind of focus on when it comes to the Fabulous Five mentor who really tells you how it is. And finally, the last mentor that I most appreciate is the mentor that helps to share with me advice on relationship, because relationships help you with your career, okay? And having that balance is key, okay? Because all of the hard work all day long, it is always good to have someone in your life personally that can help you to kind of balance off the challenges of the everyday work, the challenges of trying to be that entrepreneur and trying to establish that business. And you need someone to talk to and really share what are your challenges or what are your success throughout the day. And as a result, having that advisor, having that mentor that can help you and guide you through the process and the challenges of building relationships and being successfully with someone is key. And I know it has been beneficial in my life. So these are the 5 key points when it comes to the Fabulous 5 mentors that I know have worked successfully in my life. And I know that Dr. Joffre can attest to this as well.
Yes. So as you can see, a mentor plays an encompassing role in different aspects of your life, you know, from finances, career, different things like that. So a mentor, but you can also have a mentor for each specific area as well. Someone that just only deals with that area, and it could be a group of that can help make you a better all-around individual as well. But that great mentor has the ability to impact all areas of you as a person. So this is what we have to present to you today, guys. Once again, like we say, we're not experts in this field. This is solely our personal experience, the things that assisted us in helping us in the success we've had thus far. And I say thus far because we have more in the name of Jesus. I know we have more. But these are some of the roles, the things that we did to obtain success in our areas. And we're young Bahamian men who live abroad now, but we definitely want to give back. Just as, you know, people poured into us, we now want to pour out into individuals. So when Mr. Cunningham presented it to us, I definitely told him, you know, we definitely wanted to be able to contribute and assist as best as we can. So we definitely thank you, Mr. Cunningham, for giving us this opportunity to share this with your program and all of you participants who decided to come on. We appreciate your time.
Great.
And also,
go ahead, please.
Yes, and also I would like to say that I am available to have conversations. I know some individuals who are part of this conversation would wish to pursue their academic endeavors beyond your current accomplishments. And so Mr. Cunningham has my contact information. And I know that Dr. Joffre and I will try to devote ourselves to the best of our ability to try to network and to help to guide you in the right direction, you know, to see you become a young leader, because you guys have dedicated your time to Mr. Cunningham's program. And as a result, I think that's the first step of pursuing that type of leadership skill that you guys are trying to acquire and have acquired thus far. So I think that you guys are on the right track. And I think that you guys are really fighting to succeed. And I just want to just congratulate you guys and just here to motivate you and to keep pushing you forward.
Well, great. That is wonderful. I would like to, before our guests leave, open for any final questions. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Joffre or Dr. King? Don't be bashful.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. My question is related to internships and various on-the-job experience. for me, I'm a professional already. I have a career already. However, I am interested in breaking into a different field in addition to what I'm currently doing. However, sometimes when you're reaching out and seeking internship opportunities, they're not, people don't respond the way you want. Sometimes you don't get a response at all. And so here you are with a new certification, but you're looking for practical on-the-job experience, but you're not really getting it. What would you, I guess for both of you, what would you suggest or advise or recommend?
You want to take that first, Dr. Joffre?
I was on mute, I'm sorry. My advice, I mean, definitely keep going at it. See if you can, if you know anybody who you know who is in that particular arena, field that can get you, someone, what they call it, the person at the front door that can get you in, that can connect you. Because a lot of times it's not what you know, it's who you know. I don't, just like I said, if you can reach out to somebody, you're a part of this organization with Mr. Cunningham. Reach out to people that you know who may have connections. I don't know if you've been utilizing people or the resources that you currently have, but definitely try to see if you have someone who might have connections. Reach out to them and say, hey, I've been trying to do X, Y, Z. Can you reach out to someone and have a conversation to see if you can at least give me access? But definitely don't give up. You definitely don't want to do that. My best bet is to see if you can get in contact with someone to give you access.
And, and to also add to Dr. Joffre's comment, kind of think about circles within circles. And just like how we've discussed throughout this entire session, to network. Okay, so that question goes straight into the term networking. Okay, and to really be able to build that social intelligence, that is the #1 key that helps to drive this new generation forward. Okay, academic intelligence is one thing, but having that social intelligence kind of puts you on a completely different level. So that is key, because that's what the global society wants to see: young individuals and young leaders. Those individuals that know how to get into the social light and shine. And so kind of removing that fear factor, okay, and having that shy personality is no longer the thing. You must be that center of attraction. You must be that individual who possess the vocal skills and the boldness to really hold a public conversation. And once you have those type of skills, and once you work within circles of individuals, that means that you are breaking barriers and you are transforming into that leader that you wish to be. So I hope that you kind of grasp the understanding of that comment, is where Mr. Cunningham group is an excellent group. Okay, but Mr. Cunningham will also introduce you to more people. So you're forming circles within circles. So because Mr. Cunningham invited Dr. Joffre and I, so Mr. Cunningham will share our contact. So you are developing a strong network foundation. You are developing or actually establishing your network capacity. So I think that too help you to really see the importance of why we are here. And having time, taking time out is key, because it just doesn't happen overnight. Okay, so having patience and being diligent is key as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wonderful. Any final questions for our guests?
Yes, well, it's not so much a question, but I think it's a statement. But I think I like how you guys reiterated that entrepreneurship is in itself a career. Because I think even for me, venturing out into the entrepreneurial space, I kind of always saw that it's not so much a career, but more so a hustle. But I think regarding it as a career helps you to put the respect and the consistency and the showing up every day as you would with a career. It helps to put that into perspective as well. So yeah.
Yeah, you have to put in the same amount of work and time. I think you even have to put in more time. because this is your, when we work for people, we do what we have. Sometimes, unless you really love what you're doing, you do what you have to do, the bare minimum sometimes, to get the job done. But when it's you're going to do what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? You're going to do everything to ensure that it is profitable, it's successful. So I applaud anybody who's an entrepreneur, and I eventually will be getting into that as well. So it is a career.
Yeah, it is. It is most definitely, and it goes back to what we mentioned earlier in the discussion, to tie up the loose ends. It is all about being able to really have your own vision and being able to be bold in what you do, and also to be able to just have that well thought out plan as to where you want to be, that short term and that long term goal. So entrepreneurship is not an easy task, and is also considered thinking outside of the box. And that is key, because that means that you have that ultimate ability to really be that leader, and at a very young age. So, my hat goes off to you, and to all of those who are also pursuing their entrepreneurial visions.
Thank you.
Well, great. Dr. Joffre, Dr. King, I would like to thank you for sharing your wealth of information. I think everyone, those who are looking for mentors, now understand what those 5 key pieces are. And I think they have to understand, you start with a self-evaluation, which is critical. And I think your life experiences that articulated how you develop and how your path has moved forward. But I think also what persons should understand is the journey is not always clear. So if you start down a particular path and you find that someone will tell you it's not right. Dr. Joffre spoke about he wanted to be a pediatrician, and he realized through that mentorship what the path entails, and how your spirituality is important. One thing you probably heard guys have heard many times: hold on to your dreams. And I think Dr. Joffre, you mentioned a quote before about planning and a vision and work. I have to go back and listen to it, because that's very powerful what you said. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank our guests. Let's give them a round of applause. So, job well done. And so at this point, I want to say good night to our Facebook audience. We have one more session next week, and that will be on negotiations and crucial conversations. So even when you think of negotiating for your career position, negotiating with your many opportunities that you have in life, even negotiating with your peers, and what's crucial about those conversations. So we'll have an expert next week to talk to us about that. In the meantime, if you please join the foundation, go to www.bahamasnaturalresources.org/membership. Join. This is your foundation. We have many programs instilled that we are investing into you, our Bahamians. So come on board and be part of the process. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. So thank you, Facebook audience. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I just cut off the Facebook parts, but we continue to record our session. Gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. I apologize for the technical challenges we had at the front end, but I think the mustard and the seed of what you brought us today was very impactful. And hopefully some persons in the Facebook arena was able to harness that and add leverage to it. And gentlemen, as everyone knows, not just Dr. Emerging Leaders, not just our guests this evening, but any of our previous guests, as I mentioned on other occasions, they came here because they want to support you. And you talk about a circle of networking. I remember someone taught me from a young age in my young professional career, in networking, he who gives first wins. So when you go to people, and don't be afraid to speak to anyone. If you go to an event, if it's the Prime Minister, if it's the Queen, believe it or not, people of influence and of certain level of success, they come to events because they want to talk to people. but sometimes people are afraid to approach them. But remember, they want to be approached. So I want to, Dr. Joffre, Dr. King, thank you very much for your time. And if you have any questions or concern, I'll pass your contact information to all of our mentees, our emergent leaders, and they will then in turn, gentlemen, you have to make the, and ladies, you have to make the first step. I'm not going to reach out to them for you. They gave you the open door. Reach out to them, and they'll accept your call, because they're Bahamians like all of us, and they want to see our country grow and see you as our people grow as well. So, gentlemen, thank you very much. Mario, Andrea, do you have anything to add? Yes.
You know, I was taking you up on that, especially my fellow Bahamians. They come from Bahamas, and you know, remember the project that we were talking about with the micro remediation in
Yes.
Grand Bahama.
Yes.
I really do feel like they could be able to help us out. Dr. King, is it correct? Dr. King, he's the environmental specialist. Yeah, I really feel that he can help us out with planning for that exercise.
Yes, I'll definitely give you, pass their contact information on to you, Jared. No, not a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. So before our guests leave, any final questions? Because I know they have a pressing appointments to attend. Mario, Andrea, any comments?
Good evening, gentlemen. Just a quick question. I guess it's for the benefit of everyone. As you know, with our our current climate, when things have become difficult, especially in terms of opportunities, obviously, being in the Bahamas, it's probably 10 times more challenging, for the entrepreneur, even for those who are employed. The question that I would say, what would your guidance be for those who are discouraged, for the despondent? What would you say in reference to those who feel that there's no...
Mario, you're breaking up a bit.
My question is, what would you say to those who feel discouraged, who feel that they're, that the challenge is too difficult?
I'm not sure.
What would you say to those who are discouraged in this current climate? Can you hear?
Yeah, I think I understand a little bit of what he's asking, although there's some technical issues on his end. So I was in a predicament where I was faced with challenges when I was.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes. Okay, so like I was saying, so in based upon my experience, I have been in challenging situations where I was kind of placed into a corner, and I didn't know which direction to go career-wise, and it takes that self-evaluation, because self-evaluation is an ongoing assessment method of your life. It never stops. And so when you are up against the wall career-wise and you do not know where to go, or you don't see a way out and your vision is very gray, that's the time for you to step back, and that's the time for you to reevaluate and reset your goals and plans. And then you have to find a way of succeeding. So leadership comes with persistency. Leadership comes with being diligent. Leadership comes with finding a way out. That's why leaders lead. They lead because they have a vision and they have a way out. So it is normal to feel discouraged. It is normal to feel as though you are trapped. But the main thing is, once you persevere and once you find that solution, that then tells you that you are a true leader. And I have transitioned out of the scientific field and into scientific research and running a university. And so you have to find your way through. Okay.
For me, it's just simple. You cannot give up. You honestly cannot give up. First and foremost, you have to have faith within, especially if you're an entrepreneur. You have to have believe and that what your product or whatever it is that you're doing, that it is something that will become successful. You have to believe that. If you don't believe it, how would you expect someone else to? So my thing is, you definitely don't want to give up. Like Dr. King, I think we've all experienced times when, you know, we were down, you know, backs are against the wall. But as I mentioned earlier, my faith in God definitely has tremendously increased because of the trials and tribulations I went through. I've seen opportunities when I've had job opportunities before me, and because of certain work restrictions with my work permit and different things like that, jobs just removed from me. I mean, the most money I was making in my life presented to me, to finally have that in front of me and then to have it removed. And it was like, at that point, I just turned to God and said, God, I believe you, I trust you. I know you brought me through this, brought me to this, so you bring me through it. And I told him, I said, you removed this from me because you have bigger and better for me. And I persisted, I stuck through the times. And on the other end, it was something bigger and better for me. You know, so I really believe you have to be persistent. You have to maintain your level of faith, and you're repeating this. You have created these communities. You have made yourself a part of these organizations. Mr. Cunningham have brought each person to present to you. Dr. King and I, we're offering ourselves to you. We're now a part of your network. Some area where you might be struggling, we might know some information, or we might know someone who we can direct you to that can now give you direct access to something you may need. So it's all about going within your Rolodex, like you say back in the day, to see who you know, that what they know, something to that effect. So it's just taking advantage of your network, not giving up, and holding on to your faith.
Right, and also to kind of close it out, you know, and to bring humor into the discussion, you know, it's a song that goes, know when to fold, know when to hold, and know when to run. Okay, I think that's applicable because I've always utilized that song in my life. You know, when is the time for me to transition onto something new? After I reevaluate myself and realize, hey, I'm just beating the dead horse. I need to know when to fold and to reestablish myself into a new network. So that is key, most definitely. So I just want to kind of let you guys know that, because you might be holding on to something for so long, but you have to know how to evaluate where you are career-wise and know how to reestablish yourself.
Wonderful. So on that note, it's coming up to the 8:30 hour. So I want to thank our guests, Dr. Joffre and Dr. King. And if you have any information, I'll provide you their contact information, and they'll be a resource. And I'm quite sure they will both be joining the foundation as members to continue to bring their partnership. But I must say also, for full disclosure, they did talk about some of their endeavors they would like to continue impacting the Bahamas. And I told him that the foundation would be more than happy to leverage our relationships and our resources to help them live out their purpose and their objective of impacting the Bahamas. So this within itself, as organizationally, is a new form business relationship that's in the works. So we're all Bahamians and we're excited about this. I'll give Andrea, if you have any words before we depart. I see you're looking.
I just wanted to thank you both, Dr. King and Dr. Joffre for your presentation. Really enjoyable and we appreciated it. So, and we're looking forward, like I said, to you joining the foundation and continuing your great work in the Bahamas.
And
So
I
thank
am
you.
part of my manners, Dr. Joffre, Dr. King. Andrea is the secretary of our board, and she's our chief administrative officer. And Mario is our protectorate and a legal counsel to the foundation. So kind of put their roles, but also they are directors of the Emerging Leaders Program. So they help me, all three of us work together to put this together and to continue to work. So of course you have all of our emerging leaders who perhaps one day will become our bosses. Well, on that note, I want to say good night to everyone. Thank you for your time, and we will see you next week. And good night.
Good night.